game plan that you're willing to share on what will be in that for game two?
Yeah, no, not willing to share, and not something we've even talked about much yet. We've dug through some other things. That hasn't been one of the things we've discussed.
Jim, not putting the team on the ice after that game last night, logic behind that skate?
Well, we had 2 good practices before we left, played last night, so we'd be looking at probably 5 days in a row. So we're trying to save the energy. We'll touch it up a little bit tomorrow, but mostly we're just a recovery day.
Jim, a lot of times you talk about video clips and balancing it. Was it tough to balance last night with positives and negatives?
Yeah. No, I mean, the guys know. They were on the bench. They know what went on, but we had a video session. We looked and saw, the one area of the game that we thought we really struggled with and that we need to improve. They agreed. They saw it. They knew it probably beforehand. And so we put that away to bed, and then we'll start fresh tomorrow.
Jim, by not going on the ice today, do you worry about the psychological impact of guys having to live with last night?
No, I don't. We've got a veteran team. A lot of guys been through the playoffs and stuff like that. They've parked it already. Like I said, we cleaned it out. We parked it. We're going to go fresh, and we just need a bit of a mental and physical break, I think, for today.
Hey Jim, because team defense is such a part of your identity, how much does a night like that, does this group take it personally? How much does it kind of hit at the pride aspect?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because they are committed to playing without the puck, our team, and they've committed to playing without the puck for a long time, the organization. So they take pride in that. If you don't take pride in that, then you're going to be up and down, and it's been pretty steady for a long time. So that is something they take pride in, and nobody felt good about that way that turned out last night. So I believe you'll see a much tighter game from us.
You talked with Matt. Go ahead.
I was going to say, with the challenge that you're getting to know and Kopitar to match up the big 2 lines from Edmonton, how important it is in this series, you think, for Dubois' line, and whoever's playing with, but for them to maybe take advantage of the matchup that leaves them in those times. That's the way it matches.
Yeah. I mean, that should be the strength when you look at it, right? That we've got some pretty good players up and down the lineup, and we talked about it before. We think our one of our strengths is just our forward depth, checking, but also being dangerous offensively. So, yeah, that's an area I thought they had some looks. I think Kevin's look right off the face-off early in the first period, that was a pretty good point blanker. That might have changed the complexion of the game. Good save, but yes, definitely that line, or if that line is together, we'll see. That line has to score.
Jimmy mentioned last night, the challenge with Connor McDavid, not just with the power play, but 5-on-5.
Yep.
In your discussions with the coaching staff and maybe with the players, can you share what you hope to see tomorrow night against that line, and do you see a different alignment maybe in terms of who you'd like to see against them, or the line makeups?
No, I mean, more than him and anybody else. You got to have F3. We talked about it last night. We allowed them too much space through the neutral zone. Too many rushes where we didn't have a chance to clog them out of the middle and push them to the outside. So that's on every player. It's not just on that player. That's the area we have to play better in. Yeah.
Jim, you had Q up on with Kobe and Juice on Adrian's goal there. Is that something that you may go back to, since he's obviously played with them a ton, or might you leave Q with Kevin and Pierre?
Yeah. Well, over the last couple months, a lot of different combinations have played with each other. So I think we're comfortable when we're adjusting the lines. Players have played with each other before. That line has been together a lot, so it's easy for me to flip Q back there at any time. So I'm not telling you exactly what I'm going to do, but it gives us that flexibility to do that. They didn't play a lot together, but they scored the goal. I think the point is you're trying to make is, they produced in a short time together.
Jim, in your experience, does one game bleed into another, or can you carry momentum from one game to another, or is every game a different entity?
Yeah, every game's its own game. Yeah, it really is. They feel good about that one. We don't feel good about it. Let's start tomorrow and let's change that script. And for me, we'll be fresh. We have a lot of veteran players, as I mentioned. You might worry about that as a younger team. I don't worry about that with our team.
A lot of the focus goes on to the penalty kill after last night. A couple of the guys mentioned wanting to see more of a shooting mentality on the Kings power play. Did you kind of see that as well in the 2 chances you had?
Yeah, well, we had a tough time entering the first one, and then Yeah, we took a couple shots. There wasn't probably enough net front for on a couple of those shots, but we're not going to overthink that. Our power play's pretty good. It's been pretty successful, so we won't overthink that. We'll just make sure we execute a little bit better on the entries.